Hi, I'm Tanya Joya with Tanya Joya Coaching and Sober on Purpose podcast, and we're here to help families with addicted loved ones live purposeful and peaceful lives. And one of the interesting things is the question comes up of why can't I focus on my goals? I'm not the one with the issue. I'm not the one who is either using substances or pornography or phone use or whatever the addiction is, because there's multiples. It's not just the traditional, but why am I, as the spouse or the child or the roommate, not able to focus on my own goals? And there's a really good reason for that. And it is because we are feeling unsafe and uncertain in the relationship. We know something's out of kilter. We know that we're being manipulated or gaslighted, but either we're not telling ourselves the truth or we're buying into what the addict is telling us. So we're constantly in this fight or flight feeling, saying, hey, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I don't know when I'm going to have to stop and pick up the pieces. Maybe they'll be home to take care of the kids. Maybe they won't be. Maybe there'll be money in the bank. Maybe there won't be. We're constantly trying to outplan whatever we think the disaster is going to be, which leaves us anxious in this fight or flight. And there isn't time left over to focus on our own goals, focus on our own work, or the feeling like if I drop this, then nobody's going to pick it up, and this could be a really serious consequence. And it could be. It could be a really serious consequence. In my own life, and if you go to the Joyous Family, you can read our story. In my own life, I basically had to divorce the house that my husband and I built. I could not financially be responsible for it when we separated, and I could not physically be responsible for it and the 20 acres. So I did have to leave it and divorce it for my own health. Not divorce my husband, but let go of that house because it was going to take me under trying to keep it afloat and to keep my children healthy and to work on the relationship that my husband and I had as we separated due to addiction, and to my own really poor behaviors. I'm never pointing fingers at just him. So when we look at this, finding our own goals, finding ourselves, moving forward means that I have to value me as much as I am trying to control the person with the addiction. That means I have to take hands off. That means I have to give them the dignity to live their lives in the way that they choose to live their lives. I get to choose whether I'm going to participate in that or not. Hard to hear, I know, but part of the process. And to say, hey, if I want to have goals, if I want to focus on what's next for me, I have to do my own self-care. I cannot be living your life for you, which is often what we try and do for the addict. That's part of what we call enabling. Making choices, cleaning up the pieces, making sure things are running smoothly in that addict's life so that we can feel safe. Really need you to hear that. We're doing that selfishly so that we can feel safe. Like that person's, one, not going to die, the family unit is not going to fail, and that we are in control. And I understand, I have been in that position where it was possibly going to be a financial disaster if I didn't pick up those pieces. And even the AA Big Book, the Alcoholics Anonymous Big Book, talks about what would have been in the 1930s a real truth, that the person, the spouse of the addicted loved one, is financially dependent on that person. No shame in realizing that. You do have choices on how you want to move away from that if you need to create financial independence, if you need to create some boundaries on the financial spending. All of those areas do give you opportunities and choices. The question is, are you ready to step in and say, yes, I have some responsibility in this family dynamic? Because if we just focus on the addict being the problem, we never see where we are enabling it as well. So we may have to make some clear choices of, I can no longer support this, and I'm setting up a boundary around it. And we're going to talk more about boundaries, but it may also be a letting go of taking care of things that we have taken care of for that addict. So that's a change in the thought process, that you have a lot more power and control than you think. And part of it is stopping overdoing, stopping taking care, stopping making sure that things run smoothly, and letting life look the way it really looks. That's a hard situation to be in. And we're going to talk about skills that you'll need to do that. And it doesn't have to be all at once. It can be little steps at a time. So me divorcing the house took quite a while. I took care of the house for a long time. I learned how to snowplow, take care of 400 chickens, 2 horses, 2 boys, a dog. Did all of that on 20 acres out in the middle of Colorado all by myself, because I was in too much shock to realize that I had a whole lot of choices. So that's what we're looking at right now, is looking at ourselves and the choices that we have in this situation, because you always do have a choice. You may not see it, and that's one of the things we're going to expand on with coaching and with looking at the Sober on Purpose guide, which will be out soon. How can you look at this and see your choices in this? And also, how are you going to support yourself and the addict, not to your detriment? Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Be sure and hit that subscribe button, and I'll talk to you soon. Again, I'm Tanya with Tanya Joya Coaching and Sober on Purpose podcast.